Hello everyone, myself Dheeraj. I have conducted a DPS simulation using Rockwell Arena software. Today I am going to cover topics on introduction, objectives, simulating model, OptiQuest, utilization of graph as a resource, flowchart model of DPS. Coming to the introduction, DPS is a government organization which offers many services such as issuance of handgun licenses, issuance of driving licenses, and criminal records research and so on. In this simulating model, I have basically considered applicants for driving licenses. Here, mainly I have used 4 resources, and the people or the applicants who come for the driving tests are queued and scrutinized carefully before they are issued driving licenses. Secondly, coming to my flowchart model of the DPS. First, the customer arrives and he undergoes initial testing, and from then he undergoes brief paperwork formalities, and from there he undergoes driving test, and then he is given a final result. Coming to my simulation model, first the customer arrives, and from there he is then carefully sent to the eye testing area, where if he passes, he is then sent to the paperwork formalities, where I have used triangular distribution, and if the person fails eye testing, the applicant is rejected. And after his paperwork formalities, the person is sent to the paperwork station, where I have used station route modules, where from paperwork station he is then sent to the lecturer course station. Before the person is sent to the actual driving test, he is given a brief guidelines how to take the driving test and so on. And after taking the driving test, the person, if he passes the driving test, he is then issued the driving licenses, where I have created a dispose module which describes that the person has passed the driving test. And if the person by chance fails the driving test or by a margin, he is given a brief session, and then he is again sent to the driving test, and then if he passes, then he is also issued the driving license. In my model, I have used 3 queues, one basically for eye testing, and one for the driving test, and one for the brief lecture when the person fails his driving test. And in this model, I have used my graph to describe. The graph is plotted between time and the number busy. When the model is simulated, I have got a maximum of 28 applicants who have passed the test. And next, coming to my OptiQuest. When the OptiQuest was generally run to optimize, my main agenda is to optimize. So when it is run, the objective was to minimize the wait time and maximum utilization of the resource. And the input controls I have given in the OptiQuest as my resources, and the constraints are maximum of 4 resources for each input control, and output responses are customer waiting time and resource utilization. After running this OptiQuest, I have got a feasible solution in my 39th replication, where Jane has one resource, Karnam and Linda has 3, and Lauren has 2. And there were different feasible solutions, but my 39th replication was the feasible solution which I found out to be. And this is my graph after when I have simulated the model, which it is been plotted between the number busy and the time. My main conclusions for the simulating model are to optimize the number of resources, to optimize the number of applicants, and to minimize the total time in the system. And the values are briefly explained in the report. And that's it for today. Thank you.